This is me, Juan Pablo Lullier from Daily Rock, Switzerland. And I'm with Fernando Ribeiro, Langsuyar, the singer of Moonspell. And this is going to be an enormous, extremely good time for us. So Moonspell, an active band, which its last album was in 2017. And now the new album is coming out in 2021. And after it go out, are you going to make some gigs about it? Tours or something previous?
Well,
or
we hope so. But first, it's a pleasure to be at your show. So thanks for the lovely intro. Well, Hermitage is coming out on the February 26th. Obviously, we are right now promoting it and releasing some singles, etc., and some videos. But the official release is going to be February 26th. As far as touring going and also live shows, obviously, like most of people nowadays in the music business or industry, we are expecting and hoping for the best. But we don't know for sure dates and if we'll be able to play as often as we normally do for an album in 2021. Obviously, because of the pandemics and how the world come out of it. So we have some shows lined up, especially festivals, because everything that was supposed to happen in 220 will happen in 221, like Wacken and Alcatraz, etc. I'm still booking some other dates. So and we are trying to prepare like a kind of secret special show for people all around the world that could travel here in Portugal to see it. But also we are entertaining the idea of making a live show. Here in Portugal, you can play live, even though, for instance, if you play on 1,000 capacity, you can only have 300, 400 people there because of security reasons. But let's see now with the vaccine that starts today in Portugal, if we can get more people into the shows and come back to enjoy more the live experience. But on the other hand, we did a show this year. We did 4 shows in Portugal. One of them was streamed. It's on the YouTube now, so people want to catch it there. And it was a good experience. I mean, it's not a real thing, but it's something that shortens the distance between us and the Moonspell community. So yeah, I hope that around March or something, closer to the album release, we'll be able to play a show. Probably in Lisbon, Portugal, and try to stream it all around the world.
And you have like a great show, like, because you have like an enormous presence on stage, and also this like kind of theatrical things that you put on stage, like when you play in No Medo Medo in the beginning with the lantern and stuff.
Yeah.
It's quite impressive.
Well, I'm a big guy. I'm 1.90 meters. So I don't know. It's like, you know, some people like more down to earth, that you just headbang and jump. But I always found I'm a lot into cinema and theater and literature. And I used to be together with an actress. She's my ex-wife, but she was an actress. And I went to a lot of theater shows. And I always liked the more theatrical aspect of metal bands.
Like King Diamond, like Alice Cooper.
Diamond, like Iron Maiden, Alice Cooper, also Marilyn Manson, but also more underground bands, you know, like Wardruna, which are metal bands. Of course, people love it. You know, Dead Can Dance. They always had something that really struck a chord on me. So whenever I go on stage, I try to think about my lyrics and try to perform within the music as well. There's a lot of metal, also headbanging, the regular stuff, but we always try in Moonspell to have a different show and more of a theatrical show.
The last album, 1755, was a conceptual album. Is this one also a conceptual album, or is more a concept in sound?
Well, it's a good question because I don't have a good answer. I think that the way I work with Moonspell and with the lyrics and then the music, it's already in its sense a little bit conceptual. We kind of take the lyrics as a script, you know, because this lyric is about someone going to the desert, so the music will have this and that element. And So yeah, I think that the concept it's vast. It's not like 1755, which is just about one subject, that is a Lisbon earthquake, and then the consequences it had in our history and society and religion, etc. But Hermitage is much more about solitude, isolation, and about reflecting. Obviously, now with the COVID pandemics, everybody's thinking, oh, okay, you did an album about social distancing. But I started writing Hermitage in 2017, where there was no evidence.
There was no pandemic yet.
There was no pandemics, there was virus. They have been since the early dawn of humanity. It's something that we live together with. But I think that even though before the pandemics, people were like stonewalling themselves into their opinions, their tastes, and we're losing the sense of community. So I thought that it would be interesting to write about an album about taking a break. That's what a lot of the saints went to the desert, because a lot of people say, oh, the hermits went back to solitude and they never came back, which is not the absolute truth. A lot of them came back in order to improve their society, in order to improve their community. And I think nowadays we should probably not literally go to a cave and pray, but we should take a break inside ourselves and think about what we want to do with the world, we want to do with our neighbors, we want to do with our families, with our fans, with music. Because even though there's a lot of connectivity these days, especially with the internet and social networking, I feel people are very lonely. They're full of hate, and they're not full of a community or spiritual feeling. So Hermitage is a little bit about regaining that feeling, because I think that we're going into a path, and the pandemic is just one aspect of it, that it's going to be very dangerous for the humankind, I believe. So as a concerned citizen as well, and father and musician, I wanted to write about that, instead of writing more about folk stuff, which I love, vampires, werewolves, etc. But I think I had the time for that. I already did that many times, and nowadays every time I'm also aging and getting older, I'm more interested in other subjects.
Well, in this album there are 10 songs, and we're going to see around the year also video clips coming out.
We already released 2 video clips. One is called The Greater Youth. It's the first song of the album. It's a very thought-provoking lyric video, because it shows the contrast between our Western way of life and the problems that we have since I was coming up. These days, people, for instance, they discuss, should we have a vegan diet or a meat eater or vegetarian? But I also wanted to show that if that's important for the Western people, and that creates awareness and probably balance as well. Some people don't have that option. People in Africa, they wish they had anything to eat,
Of course.
They cannot pick up a diet or being spiritual about that. So, and then we have Common Prayers, which is a more typical Moonspell song. It's called this way, more gothic metal.
I really like that song.
Yeah, and thank you. And we recorded it in a cave in Portugal with a pregnant nun. It's a song about at least in Portugal, when people went to be nuns, they were probably most likely daughters of rich people here in Portugal, and they found no suitable husband. So they went there, but they were still women. They still had sexual desire. So they got, a lot of times exploited by the priests, and there was a lot of pregnant nuns in Portugal and also in Europe, especially on the 17th century. And we wanted to write a song about that. Even though we take the religious path, our human urges will never leave us. So we decided to record this song in a very beautiful place in Portugal, which is like natural caves. We'll release 2 more videos before February the 26th. One of them is going to be right now in the first weeks of January, called All or Nothing. It's just a small performance video. It's a very emotional, slow and atmospheric song. So it's just us playing to an empty theater. And then we'll record still another song called Hermit Saint that is coming out a little bit before the album release, around 12 24th of February or so. So yeah, we're going to have a lot of stuff, but obviously we encourage our fans when it's available to listen to the whole album, because we tried very much to create 10 powerful songs, or also intertwine them with the atmosphere of the album. And we're still a band that likes for the fan to listen to the whole thing and not just the singles. We try very hard not to have just 3 or 4 good songs and then the rest is just fillers. It's important for Moonspell to have a solid album. It's like more than 60 minutes of music, but I think we always try for the fan to have the whole experience by listening to the whole album.
There's been albums that have been in English, songs that have been in Portuguese. What do you prefer writing, in Portuguese or in English?
Well, honestly, I like to write a lot. I think sometimes much more than a singer, what I really enjoy is to write lyrics and other stuff. And then one thing leads to the other, because I think when you write your own material, as a singer, you must understand this. It's a bit better, the interpretation, you know, sometimes. And for me, Moonspell, I always wrote the lyrics of Moonspell. Obviously, English, it's something that comes along with the musical style. You know, even though we had some Portuguese stuff like already on Alma Mater and Trebaruna, Tayagina, we did it because we wanted to try it out and it was more eccentric. But also, we just had this commitment with the Portuguese language. There was the experience of the whole album in Portuguese. And honestly, I enjoyed it very much, enjoyed writing it, and also enjoyed very much to sing it in Portuguese, because it allowed me, I master better Portuguese because it's my native language than English. But on the other hand, I think English is a beautiful language. It's also the language where we listen to most of the lyrics that have marked our teenager years growing up, you know, and, you know, like Maiden, Metallica, etc. So we kind of got used. So honestly, I don't have a preference.
But this question comes when I was 17 years old, when I had in my hands the Under Satana re-released with the re-recording stuff. That's for me the best album in metal, in gothic metal I've ever heard. I am a fan of gothic metal, King Diamond, and all this stuff. So my question is, did you ever play all the songs of this extremely good album?
Actually, we did. When Under the Moonspell, the original, was out, we did a small tour in Portugal, but unfortunately, we never got to be abroad, which was a shame. But when Under Satana, the re-recordings were out in 2007, we did a big show here at the Coliseum in Lisbon for 3,000 people, where we played the whole songs, and it was a Halloween night, and it was very magical for people. We never did it again, I have to be honest. Yeah. I don't know, we just moved on, or, you know, we had other albums, we had other albums, other tours.
Last question. You've been here playing in Switzerland a lot of times. What do you think about the Swiss audience?
Well, I like it. I think in the beginning when we were there, first shows, it was a big surprise, because I think people were more quiet, but they aren't, you know, it's just that they are just different, you know, from Portugal and Spain and South America. People are getting really crazy. But nowadays, with the passing of the years, I think we got a lot of good fans in Switzerland. Also, it helps there's a lot of Portuguese people over there living as well, so they come to the shows. So yeah, I can't complain. I think it's a great scene. It's great to play. Very nice places like Praten, Basel, you know, Lausanne. I think, yeah, I'm very happy with the way that we are growing in Switzerland, and people are much more wilder these days as well. So they appreciate their metal, which I think it's great. Yeah, for me as a Portuguese, it's amazing also to play in Switzerland.
Anything you want to add before saying goodbye?
Well, I hope that everybody stays healthy, obviously, and that we can come together in shows as soon as possible. Hermitage is coming out on February 26th, so stay tuned. You can already listen to some songs like Common Prayers or The Greater Good. And I wish you a happy 2021 for you and for your listeners. that will be better than, you know, this horrible year we have with all the pandemics and everything that happened. So yeah, thank you very much, and greetings from Portugal.
Greetings from Switzerland. Thank you very much. Thank you for being in this interview for the Daily Rock. Thank you, the Daily Rock, for this moment that they gave me, and I wish you a really great year.